So today we're going over 4.4, graphing a function rule. A relation is a function for each input. There is exactly one output. So this is a reminder of what we already know of a function. So for every 1x, you get 1y. So the input table is this one right here. That's the input-output table. It's also called a function table. And it's also reminding you that the input is the x and that the output is the y. You have the input and output can also be written as an ordered pair. We've gone over x and y. We're just renaming them input and output for the x and y. So input x, output y, as it's written down here. This is a lot of a reminder of what we learned in the past few lessons. So we have different types of functions. We have the function is a rule or equation where there is exactly one output for every input, and for every x value there is exactly one y value. Now remember, you only find out if it's a function or not based on the x. So the x is what's going to tell you if it's a function or not a function. So we have for the first one, we have no x values repeat, as you guys can see, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 4. So it is a function. For the next one, we have -1, 0, 1, 2, 4. Also, no x value repeats. So it is a function. As a reminder, they did circle right here, the 2 and the 2. If it repeats in the y, it doesn't matter. It can be a function as long as it just doesn't repeat on the x. And then we look at the third graph, and we have 1, 0, 1, 2, 4. As you can see, this 1 and this 1 repeats. So it is not a function. Also, I forgot to say in this one right here, if it's a negative and a positive, they're considered different numbers, okay? So you can't say that one repeats just because one is negative and one is positive. They're different. Just so you guys have an example, we can have a function, an xy function of, let's say, 0, 1, 2, and then this could be 4, 4, 4, forever and ever, and that would be a function as the y is the only one that repeats and the x doesn't repeat. So if you have a bunch of repeated y's, that's fine. We don't really care about that. We only care about the x, if it's a function or not. All right, so this is your warm-up. This is based on the stuff that we have done in the past. Gotta determine whether the relation is a function. So for the first question, they want us to find if this is a function. So again, we just look at the x's, so 0, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to write up here x comma y, just as a reminder. So since we have no x that repeats, this is a function because the x.
Wait, what does y repeat?
That doesn't matter.
Wait, whoa. It doesn't matter, so it's x.
So if y repeats, so for example, if you have, I answer number 1, but to go off in that question, if you have, let's say, an ordered pair or a graph that's 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3. So all of the y's are just 3. So it'd be 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3. And you have this line just horizontal that. Because if you ever have a doubt, you can always do the vertical line test. So if you guys remember it, we can draw a line vertically anywhere on this graph and it will not touch more than once. So the y can repeat forever and ever and ever, and it would still be a function because it passes a vertical line test. If you need that as a help, you guys can use it. So again, for number 2, they want us just to look at the inputs, which is the x. So 9, 25, 9, 25, and 5. Usually, if we just have one that repeats, it's enough to say it's not a function. In this case, we have 2. Again, because the x repeats, doesn't matter if it's once or twice, not a function. All because the x repeats, or the input repeats. I'll put little input. So it's a reminder to determine whether the relation is a function. We only really care or look for at the x. So we're going to have for number 3, -2, 2, 4, and negative 2. In this case, the negatives 2 are being repeated, so this is not a function. The x repeats. Now, let's look at number 4. We have, again, just the x's 4, 2, 4, negative 2. The only ones that repeat right here are the 4's, so this is not a function because the x repeats. Now we're going to look at number 5. We have negative 2, 3, 8, 13. Because the x doesn't repeat, this is a function. Yes, it is a function because the x doesn't repeat. Now looking at 6, we can see that is 0, 1, 2, and 3. Again, only worrying about the input for the function. Doesn't repeat, so yes, it is a function. The x does not repeat. So we're going to look for the input and the output. Now instead of giving us already the input and the outputs, instead of giving us the x and the y, they're giving us an equation. So if they want us to solve for it, wherever there is an x, we're going to plug in the input, okay? So here we will plug in a 0, here we will plug in a 1, a 2, and a 3. And we would solve it the same way we would solve any other equation. So 2 times 0 is 0, plus 5, that's going to give us 5. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 5 is going to equal 7. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 5, it's equal to 9. And then it's going to be 3 times 2, or 2 times 3, is 6, plus 5 equals 11. Again, we're going to use a table to complete this. The inputs, I'm going to call it based on input 0, 1, 2, or 3. Remember, the inputs are the x and the outputs are the y. So we're going to plug in input 0. So it's going to be 2 times 0 plus 3. So we're going to get 2 times 0 is 0, plus 3 equals 3. For our next input, we have 2 times 1 plus 3. It's going to equal 2 plus 3. That's going to equal 5. Then we're going to get input 2. 2 times 2 plus 3 is 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3 equals 7. And then we have 2 times 3 plus 3. So it's going to be 6 plus 3 equals 9. So your input being the x and the output being the y, you're going to get an order pair of 0, 3, of 1, 5, of 2, 7, and of 3, 9. Now we're going to look for question number 2. Our inputs are again 0, 1, 2, and 3. So it's going to be negative 4 times 0 plus 5. Negative 4 times 0 is 0. Plus 5 is going to give us 5. Then we're going to do negative 4 times 1 plus 5 is going to be negative 4 plus 5. It's going to equal 1. Then we're going to get negative 4 times 2 plus 5. It's going to be negative 8 plus 5. It's going to equal to negative 3. Then we're going to get negative 4 times 3 plus 5. It's going to be negative 12 plus 5. It's going to be negative 7. So again, your input and output is 0 and 5. So 0, 5, 1, 1, 2, negative 3, and 3, negative 7. So reminder, the x goes first and then the y. That is for both cases, example 1 and example 2. All right, so for example 3, we're going to again use the input 0, 1, 2, and 3. But we're going to use a different equation. So we're going to get 5 times 0 minus 1. So it's 0 minus 1, so that equals negative 1. Then we're going to get input 1, 5 times 1 minus 1. We're going to get 5 minus 1, which equals to 4. Then we're going to get 5 times 2 minus 1. It's going to be 10 minus 1. It's going to give us 9. And lastly, we have 5 times 3 minus 1 is 15 minus 1. And that equals 14. Again, the order pairs that you're going to get is 0, comma, negative 1, 1, comma, 4, 2, comma, 9, 3, comma, 14. Remember, an input is x, output is y. So when we do the same thing for example 4, we're going to get 4 times 0 minus 3. So we're going to get 0 minus 3, which is going to equal negative 3. Then we have input negative 1. 4 times negative 1 minus 3. We're going to multiply it, so we're going to get negative 4 minus 3. So it's going to give us negative 7. Next, we're going to use negative 2. So 4 times negative 2 minus 3. It's going to be negative 8 minus 3. We're going to get that equals to negative 11. And lastly, we're going to get 4 times negative 3 minus 3. So we're going to get negative 12 minus 3. It's going to give us negative 15. For this example, they want us to graph the linear equation. Let's first plug in the inputs negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3 into the blue equation right here to find the y's. So we're going to do 3 times negative 2 minus 4. It's going to be negative 6 minus 4. So our new y is going to be negative 10. That's what I was telling you guys, where the order pairs come from, because we were going to need it for this example. Our order pair for this one is negative 2, comma, negative 10. So we're going to do input negative 1. We're going to get 3 times negative 1 minus 4. It's negative 3 minus 4. That's going to give us negative 7. So our input, output, or x or y, our coordinates are going to be negative 1, comma, negative 7. Then we're going to do the same thing again for 0. So it's 3 times 0 minus 4. So 0 minus 4, that's going to give us negative 4. And our coordinates are going to be 0, comma, negative 4. For the next one, it's going to be 3 times 1 minus 4. So 3 minus 4, it's going to give us negative 1. So our new coordinate is 1, comma, negative 1. Next, we're going to use 2. So it's going to be 3 times 2 minus 4. So 6 minus 4. It's going to be positive 2. So we're going to get 2, comma, 2. And lastly, we're going to do 3 times 3 minus 4. So 9 minus 4. So it's going to give us 5. So 2, comma, 5. I'm going to put a little arrow for where each one starts, just because I slowly went downwards. Now, yes, nice catch. Thank you so much. This last one is 3, comma, 5. I was looking at the wrong number. Now to graph, guys, we're going to grab all of these points that we found and we're going to place them on the graph. Now remember, it's x, comma, y. So if it's going to be negative 2, we're going to look at where the negative 2 is, which is right there. We're going to look what the negative 10 is. Where those lines intersect right here, that's where your point is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and erase that just to have the point. So if we go 2 to the left, and then because that's the x-axis, and then 10 down, we're going to land right here at negative 2, comma, negative 10. The next one is negative 1, comma, negative 7. So we go negative 1, so to the x, and the x-axis 1 left, and then 7 down, and we'll land right there. Now for the next one, we have 0, comma, negative 4. So we start at 0, we don't move anywhere for the x, and we only move down 4 on the y, and that's where that third point came from. For the next one, we have the input of 1, and we got the output of negative 1. So we're going to go 1 to the x and down 1 for the y. For the next one, we have an input of 2 and an output of 2 again. So we're going to move to the right 2 and then up 2 to satisfy the 2 to the x and the 2 to the y. Lastly, we're going to have the input 3, comma, 5. So we're going to move 3 to the x and 5 to the y, which will land us right there. Now, we can as easily draw this line on top of those points. Can draw it a little better, I think. I'm going to try. And that's where that graph would come from. But you are going to do it as of right now through the coordinate plane, through the coordinates, not plane, sorry, just through the coordinates, points, instead of anything else. We will learn how to graph based on just the equation. But this is always an option. I want you guys to learn how to put the coordinate points correctly on the graph. All right, with the few minutes we have left in class, you're welcome to start on your homework. It is on Canvas.